Boys and girls, after the disastrous dumpster fire that was introducing female custodies and then acting like they'd always been there from the very beginning, completely and totally dismissing and ignoring anybody's complaints, questions, or concerns about what they had done in the massive change and or retcon that they have done to the lore. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like there's a mass exodus going on over there with Warhammer players because it looks like numerous Warhammer players are canceling their subscriptions and announcing a boycott of Games Workshop. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is not looking good very well for the Warhammer world. And however you feel about this, either way, it's understandable and it's cool to see that players in the modern era nowadays, like you can really kind of make your voices heard between social media and just being able to go out there and, you've got a lot of these subscription services now, and you can see those kind of numbers when they come up when a lot of these companies report their earnings statements and stuff like that. So you can actually see where the declines actually happen, and you can directly correlate it to the news that happens. And it's one of those situations where I don't think the backlash from this would have been near as bad if Games Workshop would have handled it in a better way instead of trying to do something where they're just like shoehorning this in and going, yeah, it's always been there. Why are you so upset about it? And then having a lot of the writers and like the former writers and stuff like that come out there and just like absolutely trash people saying that this is a problem and basically saying the fact that this was always their intention from the very beginning to do a lot of this kind of stuff. Like that's a real issue, and that's really going to upset a lot of people out there. And like I said, there's way better ways you could have handled something like this. They talk. I've heard everything around from theories to like, you could have found like an unearthed coffin, like an unearthed planet, like some kind of ship that had something in stasis. Could have been like, oh, we found a female custody. Wow, what is this? We didn't even know this was possible. And like done something like that. And everyone's like, all right, cool, whatever. But everybody's because like, no, it's always been said that Space Marines can't. Okay, there could have been better ways to do it. And it's just the way they shoehorn it in. Like people aren't happy the way they're feeling about it. And like I said, a lot of people are very upset about it. So looks like this one is one that's going to cost Games Workshop some money. And considering how tight everything is for everybody out there, this is probably not a good thing for them. So yeah. Oh, let's check this out. Hit that like button if you haven't already. And subscribe. Numerous Warhammer players canceled their subscriptions and announced a boycott of Games Workshop after an announcement of female Adeptus Custodes. It's a very nice Space Marine. Numerous Warhammer players are canceling their subscription and announcing a boycott of Games Workshop after the company Retcon their Adeptus Custodes faction to add females. Oh, no, not our Adeptus Custodes, not our golden boys, not the bananas. Excerpts from the upcoming 10th edition of Codex, Adeptus Custodes revealed that the Games Workshop was adding females to the all-male faction. One episode reads, Custodian Caldisi, Tugwell Kokesh, stood upon the bridge of a Cobra-class destroyer named Vigilant Flame. The warship belonged to the mighty battlefield Solar. She lingered in the shadows at the back of the bridge, positioned a spot where she could observe the actions of every crew member. The very instrument in the pits and the enshrinement's case of Shipmaster Lethric stood armored straight before his command throne. So yeah, like literally they're saying it's a female Custodes, right? Like this is a story about a female Custodian. You can see right here. These are the excerpts that got leaked out there onto Reddit and everywhere else. You can find them all over the internet, all of that kind of stuff. So it just goes on, talks about Kesh was warned before anyone else aboard, talking about yes. She carries a teleport. She's got all this other kind of stuff. And then this was Warhammer's response, right? Since the first of the 10,000 were created, there have always been female custodians. So not like using like any of the new technology that we've used to like create the Primaris Marines, where you could have gone and go, okay, let's do the exact same thing, do something with the custodians, and oh look, we can do it with a female. We can do it, and make a female custodian. Oh, okay, cool. So they'll like give like a version of the system. It's something like that, right? No. There's always been female custodians. There's always been there, and so of course, that dismissal, that response did not settle very well with a good portion of the community. So yeah, they're not doing very well here. So following this retcon and subsequent gaslighting from Games Workshop, numerous hobbyists, enthusiasts, and former customers have canceled their subscriptions to Games Workshop subscription service, Warhammer Plus, and have pledged to boycott the company going forward. On April 14th, ex-user Grim Dark shared a screenshot of him canceling his subscription. He wrote, "Kiss my Games Workshop, not another penny." And as you can see right here, cancel your subscription. Yes, your subscription to Warhammer has been canceled. Remain active until it expires, 15 September 2024. So obviously a lot of these people like buy them for the year and stuff like that. So yada, yada, yada. So he explained why he canceled and why he was boycotting in subsequent posts. For those asking, what happened? Games Workshop disrespected their lore by changing decades-old lore of the Custodes, only taking males from the highborn families of Terra to become Custodes to nigh women can be Custodes now too, and they're totally always been a thing since the beginning, even though they've never been mentioned in any codex or Black Library book before. We totally aren't doing this for ESG money from BlackRock and Vanguard. And actually, I believe it's BlackRock and State Street. They're the biggest holders. But, basically tomato when it comes to those kind of things, right? Another user, Velrunner, responded to Grimdark informing that he was boycotting Games Workshop as well. He wrote, right there with you. I don't think I'll be buying anything else from Games Workshop, and I'm not even sure I want to keep anything anymore. Well, you've already spent the money on the plastic crack, man. Really? You just want to throw away hard-earned money like that? Come on now, man. Let's not be hasty here. But I understand the sentiment. Trust me, I understand the sentiment. Others announced they also canceled their Warhammer Plus subscriptions. Econ Adept wrote on X, I canceled mine too. I'm married with kids. He also shared a screenshot of him explaining why he canceled his subscription. You betrayed the lore and the fans. I will no longer spend money with your company. I will advocate others to do the same. You better hope the woke mob supports you, because I will not. And as we've seen to that point right there, as we've seen time and time again, there's a reason why the old adage, go woke, go broke, exists, right? Whether or not you want to say it's true or not, whether you want to say woke actually exists, maybe people don't understand it, whatever, argue about it, whatever you want to do. Go burn your keyboard up arguing about that kind of stuff. Go right ahead. At the end of the day, the companies that make these kind of decisions end up losing money, right? The box offices have shown that. The viewership numbers have shown that. Sales for D&D have shown that kind of stuff. The fallout with a lot of that kind of stuff. We've shown this kind of stuff happen time and time again. So it should not be any shock to anybody that this stuff is always what it ends up leading to. And now we've got a lot more of that kind of documentation right here. So another one, Marty GH, I canceled mine too. Married, 4 kids. One is gay, another is trans. I'm not against female custodies, even though they've been the Emperor's favorite sons for years. I'm against the gaslighting from Games Workshop. A good lore best explanation would have been many missed this. Yeah, literally. Would have minimized this. Absolutely. That's what I said earlier. That's exactly what it would have minimized all this. There could have been a million different ways you could have played this out, and nobody would have been able to freak out anywhere near as much you would. But then you came out, and when people started to freak out, you were just dismissive, Games Workshop. You were just like, whatever, man, bunch of bigots. We don't need to hear you. They've always been there. It's not a big deal. Another one, I canceled mine, sending an email that I want a refund. If not, I'll decline the dispute with my bank and have it charged back. I'm not renewing my White Dwarf subscription, and I was planning to do the Imperium subscription Combat Patrol. Not now. Austin Goat. I've enjoyed this hobby since second as well. Long nights playing games, friends in basement for years. I probably have models older than some of these people calling me a tourist. Yeah, sure now. Watch me leave with the money I would have spent on future stuff. Goes further. I also subscribed to the 40k channels I was following, except for Arch's second channel, to try to track an impending shit show those IP will become. If the source material turns to slop, there's zero interest in having it. Regurgitated by YouTubers. Doing the same, except Voldemort. I feel you. Been in the hobby since 98. God forbid those welfare left can afford white Warhammer Plus, but I canceled mine as well. I was going to get one of the Chaos Battle Forces. Not anymore. Lore Intelligence customers, why bother? I'll stick to old Hammer in the future. It just goes on and on and on. This is one of them situations where this is going to cost them dearly. How much? We're not sure, but more often than not, these are the kind of people that actually do put their money where their mouth is. This is not like the screaming weirdos, the advocates on the cult, those people possessed by the spirit of the age that go on out there and scream till they're blue in the face on the social media platforms, but don't actually end up buying anything or showing up to put butts in seats, and they sure as hell don't show up to buy your merch. So at the end of the day, we're going to see what happens. It sounds like this might have been a major mistake for Games Workshop and Warhammer 40k in general. How much it's going to end up costing them, it'll only be a matter of time before we find out. But it looks like either way, this was a misstep and definitely is going to end up costing them some amount of money.